Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel as we continue talking about the horror movies of the 1980s and the year 1982. And today we're talking about Girls' Night Out. Now, this is one that I found streaming on YouTube, but there is an Arrow Blu-ray release for this particular film. Now, this film, it's a mixed bag. I enjoyed it. I did. Let's get that right out of the way. I did enjoy this film, but it is a bit of a mixed bag because I don't know what it's trying to be. Is it trying to be a straight horror? Is it trying to be, a comedy horror? I'm not quite sure because there are some characters in this film. There's some a lot of joking around going on at the beginning of this film. Now we have this killer who hangs himself. He's in a sanitarium and he hangs himself. Not a spoiler, happens right at the beginning of the film. And he committed murders at this campus years prior. So we're going back to this campus where all this happened, and we go right into this middle of this basketball game. And the music they're playing is really upbeat and everything. And that's another thing I say. The music in this film, some of the music, especially in the beginning with this basketball game, sounds like it's like the 70s. This film looks like it was filmed in like the late 70s and shelved until 82. I looked it up, but I couldn't find the information to prove otherwise. Now, the music, that's not, like I said, talking about the music, some of the music's a little goofy, but there are some like other songs that are in this film that are known songs. Like they spent some money on the soundtrack. Like they had some big hitters out there with some of the songs that are in this film. Now, the basketball game ends, and it's kind of like it's on the eve of this like scavenger hunt that the campus is going to be having with the co-eds. We have this party that takes place, and it's like a costume party. And we have a few red herrings that are thrown in, sprinkled in during this party. One gentleman, his girlfriend is cheating on him, and he finds out, so he kind of like blows up and gets in a big argument with her at the party. So is he like a red herring? We don't, we, you know, he's definitely put in there as a red herring. Now whether he is the killer or not, I'm not going to spoil for you guys. But going back to our killer, everybody starts to, things start happening, and it's like, is the killer? Did he really die or not? Or is he back? Because murders start happening, and they start happening during this scavenger hunt. Now, this film's an hour and 35 minutes, about an hour and 35 minutes. It does take a little while. I will say that it does take a little while to finally get the kills going. Once they start happening, it moves at a good pace, but it does take a while. The kills are not bad. They're not crazy, but they're not bad. You have like the mascot, the school mascot, college mascot. He's a bear, and the killer gets hold of this costume and takes these like metal claws, and he puts them in like where the bear's fake claws would be. So that's how he's murdering everybody, with these fake metal bear claws. It's a unique look. It's a cool look. I'm not gonna deny that. There's an interesting look, especially using like those Wolverine type claws in this bear suit. But like I said, there's comedy, and this is where it just throws me for a loop because it takes so long to get to those kills. There's a lot of comedy at the beginning of this film. I would say there's good comedy up until when we get to the party, when things really start happening. Once the party happens and when the scavenger hunt starts happening, that's when things really take a dire tone to the film. But before that, we're getting comedy. We're finding out about a lot of these different characters in the film, and like it's enjoyable. It was just throwing me for a loop because I just didn't know. I'm like, I just couldn't figure out, like, this is obviously not being played right now as a straight horror. But overall, guys, especially when we get to the end, I'm not going to spoil the end, but there's a good twist. There's a good twist at the end, and it involves one of the characters that we meet earlier on in the film. Now, even though it has a good twist at the end, the way it ended, the film ended a little more abruptly than I would have liked to have seen it end. I would have liked to have known what happened to some of the outcome for some of the characters, in the film, some of the protagonists in the film. I would like to have seen what happened with them. But overall, I think it's solid. If you can find Girls Night Out on YouTube, I think it's definitely worth watching. The quality is a little so-so. But I think it's definitely one that at some point I am going to add to the collection because I did enjoy it enough to want to add it and want to watch it. Especially if Arrow put out a release on Blu-ray, I know the quality is going to be probably way better than what I saw, and I would have liked to like dive in and watch it again. And because some things were a little hard to hear because of the quality of the version that I did see. But overall, Girls Night Out was solid. Just know going in that it takes a little while to get to those kills, and there is some comedy with this one at the beginning. And but all the characters, whether you like them or not, like they all the characters have, the actors and actresses all have personality. They all have their own personality. It's not cookie cutter with this one, and for that, I can applaud it for that, because some of these films, especially early in the '80s, there were a lot of cookie cutter films, but this one with the bear suit killer and with with the actors and actresses having like their own individuals in this film, I definitely can appreciate it for that. So again, it's one I'm gonna have to add to the collection at some point. So guys, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I'll catch you in another episode. Take care.